Hey friends, Kylie here, your host of Dream On with Kylie O'Miller, back for another episode with a fellow gold medalist with Team USA, someone who I'm grateful to have met throughout the lacrosse world, and a boss when it comes to attacking a challenge. Thank you as always for tuning in. These episodes are recorded from a live Zoom webinar that I hold through the KO17 Lacrosse app and are constructed into this Dream On podcast you have found here. I hope you are gaining some insight from these episodes from some of the people I have met through my lacrosse journey that have imposed so much of their wisdom on me. If you're loving our episodes so far, show us some love in the reviews and rate us 5 stars. Also, be sure to SUBSCRIBE. It would mean the world to us. All right, we've got another special guest this week, and I'm pumped to get right into it. Lizzie Colson is this episode's guest to kick off Season 3, and I could not be more excited for you all to listen in to this conversation. Lizzie is one of the sport's most decorated players, with some of any sport's most incredible comeback stories. She's an inspiration to those who follow her, those who line up against her, and those, like me, who are lucky enough to suit up alongside her. Lizzie grew up in Maryland playing lacrosse with her 4 siblings, was a 2-time national champion with the Maryland Terps, and is most recently a member of the 2022 World Championship gold medal USA team. Throughout the course of our conversation in this episode, she shares the details of the mental and physical challenges she overcame to get to where she is today, and her inspiration behind fully immersing herself in creating her own brand in LColson Lacrosse. Have a listen to a really fun and inspiring episode, and then be sure to check out Lizzie's TikTok for more of where all these laughs came from. Here we go. All right, welcome to another Dream On episode. I'm your host, Kylie O'Miller. We have a really, really exciting guest today. Starting off Season 3 strong with our friend Lizzie Colson. Lizzie, welcome to the Dream On pod.
Yay, thanks for having me. I'm so pumped.
So for those of you listening, Lizzie is, I can't even read all of these accolades right now, but I'm gonna list them off, and I'm gonna try to do her justice here. But most recently, a world champ with Team USA. Go US. Go US. She's a 2-time national champion. She played for Maryland. She's a 4-time All-American, 2-year captain, which in my opinion, I know all the accolades are the greatest, but that's a really, really cool accolade right there. She runs LColson Lacrosse. She's also a host of a podcast called The Lineup Pod. She was a Tewaaraton Finalist, all of the above. And I'm so excited to kind of just dive into what makes Lizzie Lizzie and how she's gotten to where she is today. So again, Lizzie, thank you for being here today.
No, thanks for having me. I'm super excited. I can't wait.
All right. So on the Dream On pod, we always like to, before we dive into where'd you grow up, all that good stuff, we like to go off to a good start. Just kind of put our best foot forward. Tell us kind of like something that you're thankful for today, where you're at today, and where your mindset is as we head into this episode.
Today I'm thankful because I got coffee with a good friend, and that's always, a good cup of coffee with a friend. We sat outside and just kind of chatted about life, and I think that that's like such a special thing. And I'm in Newport Beach. I don't know if you meant like physically where I am right now, but I'm in Newport Beach, and I'm just thankful I got a nice workout in this morning and then grabbed a cup of coffee with a friend. I think that's like such a special like bonding time. It was great.
That is a special bonding time. Honestly, it's one of my favorite things to do. I don't know what it is about a coffee shop, but
I'm telling you, I think like boys specifically don't understand that getting a coffee is like an experience, and it's just like so special. Like, yeah, I could make it at home, but it's not the same.
Absolutely. I think it's a whole experience. It's a whole outing. And honestly, it's like changes the outcome of your day, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely.
But I love that. Okay. So I don't know if this is any different, but what is something that you're proud to say that you've accomplished today?
Today I'm proud of honestly my workout, because we got up and we did it early. Normally I do it a little bit later. I like to have like I do it reverse. Like I like to have my slow mornings, get my coffee in, kind of ease into my day, and I'll usually work out around like 9:30. Today we're at the studio by like 7. So I'm proud of that because, my whole workout routine was finished in the morning versus like late morning. So that was a good small win today.
Love that. That was something that I just added into my new journal that I have. And It was something that I wanted to like switch around to, because I'm the same way. It's usually like late morning I'm working out, and I like to I like wake up and worry about what my emails are doing and everything like that. And I want to like switch it around, So that's
I
awesome.
do not check my email when I first wake up. I try to journal. We'll probably get into this in the morning. Like I try to just slow my mornings down, but I always find myself like creeping into my email, and I'm like,
Yep.
stop. Just like it's nice to start with the workout and like start on the right foot, literally.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so let's think about something that you're pumped to go out and chase, whether it's with the
Yeah.
rest of today or with the rest of like this month or this year. What are you pumped to chase?
I am gonna run a half marathon, so that's
Ooh,
my next goal. I'm pumped to chase that. I've been working with my physical therapist, like getting a plan set in place. So mainly my workouts right now, just I'm, not really training for anything specifically, just because US is kind of on like this break, and AU's like a, while away. So no like specific lacrosse training, I would say. Obviously, I'm always training lacrosse, but in terms of like my goals, I think it's kind of shifted gears to like a half marathon, and then we'll see if I don't know that I have it in me to run a full marathon. We'll see about that. So right now, just kind of like running a lot, doing some light lifting to kind of get me ready for that, and then we'll see. Yeah.
that's awesome. When is the half marathon?
So I haven't picked a date yet. We're kind of we're it's in the works, the date. We have a couple
Okay.
that we're like thinking about, still like post wedding, like making that decision, because I you know how life is. Like I'm so busy that I'm like, do I do it before the wedding? But I don't really want to wait until after. So we'll see. We have a couple dates in mind, but that's the goal.
Okay. Any like cool locations? Are they all out in California?
Probably all out here. I want to do like a
Okay.
themed one because I think it'd be fun to like dress up and run a half marathon, like thinking about like Halloween or something like that. Maybe in like a Santa hat or something. So it'll definitely be around a holiday, but whether it's Thanksgiving or Halloween, Christmas, or like a New Year's run, somewhere in there. And if not before the wedding, it'll be after, maybe like a St. Patrick's Day run would be perfect. So in the
Look
works.
at that. I love it. It's so funny. Like, last question about your half marathon goals, but
Yeah.
was this something you ever thought you were gonna do? Because I know for me, it's like never been on my list, but as I get older, I'm like, I could kind of see it being something one day.
Yeah, I've run like half marathons on my own by accident. Sometimes, like one time I got lost, so I ended up running a half marathon by accident. And one time I was just in a group, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna kind of run a half marathon. But I've never done it organized, and I've never like set a goal and been like, this is what I want to get my time in. It's just been very leisurely. So it's kind of always been in the back of my mind. Like maybe once I'm done. I remember in college I told my coaches I wanted to do it, and they were like, after you're done, because I've never like the injury piece of it. Like there's just a different type of like training for it. And so yes, it's always been in the back of my mind, but never seriously wanted to chase the goal. And now I'm like, all right, I need a new goal. Like the second the
Yeah,
US was like done, I'm like, all right, goal time. So
I totally get that.
yeah, I think, and it's also like you said, like with age, like it's just like, you know, we've chased a lot of different goals. This is something that you can just pursue like kind of on your own terms, and training looks
Right.
different for everyone. So you can do it like with your friends, and training just like looks different for them versus you, but you can all do it together. I like that.
I love that. That's cool. And I think it's like, it's very different to lacrosse, but also really similar to where and we'll get into this, but where we like are now in our lives, where we do play a team sport, but compared to college, you're training a lot on your own. So like that piece of it is very exciting and very like comparable. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about your lacrosse journey. So when did you get into lacrosse? Where did you grow up? I know you grew up with a lot of siblings, so talk a little bit about that and how that kind of got you introduced to the sport.
Yeah, so I grew up in Maryland, like Northern Maryland, and I'm one of 5 kids. And my mom played lacrosse all growing up. Actually, she started in high school, so not all growing up, but then she went on to play in college. She played lacrosse and volleyball at McDaniel in Maryland. And so growing up, it was just like always a part of my life. Can't really remember a time that it wasn't. But I didn't start playing competitive lacrosse until going into 8th grade, or going into 9th grade. So just finished my 8th grade summer. So not that that's late, but in a family that's like, so involved in lacrosse, I would say it's a little bit late. But yeah, so I started playing competitive going into 9th grade. I played for Skywalkers, and then I went to Manchester Valley High School, where I played 4 years there. Won a couple state championships. That was fun. And then went on to play at Maryland with Kathy Reese and the Terps. And that's how I'm here.
I love it. So you mentioned a little bit about your mom playing sports. Did your sisters play sports? Your other siblings play sports? And
How was that growing up? Like, was it a supportive atmosphere? Was it a competitive atmosphere? A little bit of both?
Definitely both, and definitely sometimes like more competitive than supportive. Like in the backyard mostly, like playing like stupid pickup sports was where it was like most competitive. But yeah, I'm one of five, and four out of the five of us played college sports. And the boy decided not to play college sports, but he definitely could have. He's super athletic. But I think I always say like by the fifth one, after going to years and years lacrosse games. He was probably just like, I can't handle one more like lacrosse game. So the four girls end up playing in college, and he just went to school. But yeah, we all stayed pretty local. My sister did 2 years in Jacksonville, then came back East Coast, like Pennsylvania, Messiah, and then my second sister went to Gettysburg. She actually went to national championships there, and then my third sister went to Mount St. Mary's, and then I was at Maryland. So all pretty local.
That's awesome. And fun fact, I mean, you had two sisters in the world championship this past summer, right?
Yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah. She played for Team Italy, the one that won the two national championships. It was so cool.
Yeah, that was awesome. And I remember like just kind of sitting there. We'll get into like Team USA stuff too, but we were watching some of the Italy games and you're like, yeah, that's my sister. That's like her sixth goal. It's no big deal.
Yeah, that was really special. We can get into that too, but it was like nice to be in the backyard, and my family could go to both games at the World Cup. Like that's unheard of. So that was really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Taking a quick little time out from our episode here to say a massive thank you for listening. Dream On started off as a way to have conversations with some of the people that I've been lucky to come in contact with and really dig deep into what makes them tick and how they've become so elite in their spaces. If you're enjoying these conversations as much as I have been, please consider rating us with a solid 5 stars and leave us a review. I love hearing all of your incredible thoughts on how we can continue to dream on together with these episodes. Oh, and subscribe if you're feeling cool. All right, let's get back to our guest.
A little bit about like how you mentioned, right? A lot of you guys stayed pretty local, so family first, and that's a big thing. And that's definitely, obviously, I can relate to that. Me and my sister both went to Stony Brook, about 30 minutes down the road. So, what went into your decision when it came to the recruiting process? You said you started playing competitively going into ninth grade. How did that kind of like whole recruiting journey happen for you, and how did you find Maryland?
Honestly, like when I stayed out, I was kind of a quick turnaround because I started playing competitively going into ninth grade, and then I think like fall of sophomore year. I mean, that was when there was like no rules, like we just lost ourselves a little bit. But like I think going into sophomore year is committed. So, or I'm sorry, fall of sophomore year is committed. So like that turnaround time was so fast, and that was because up until eighth grade, like I didn't know if I wanted to play soccer or lacrosse in college, and I loved both, and I was like really serious about both. And so I kind of like didn't really know what I wanted to do. Um, but then there was a lot of opportunity in lacrosse, and I just fell in love with the sport and the team that I was playing for. And then honestly, like come sophomore year when I was visiting schools, which is like crazy to say,
Yeah.
I was just visiting a bunch of schools, and I remember I like didn't really want to stay local. Like I was like, I'm ready to move out of Maryland. Like I'm ready to travel, and I love traveling. Clearly, I'm across the country now. Like I love the change of pace, and so that was kind of my mindset even in high school. But then I visited Maryland. Honestly, like Kathy, I've told her this before, like kind of like half-heartedly. Like I was just like I wanted to go somewhere different, and I visited and just like immediately fell in love with the culture and the coaches and the competitiveness of the program. I really only knew at that point that I wanted to play somewhere that was competitive, and I wish I could say that I knew what I wanted to do in school and my future, but I didn't. I just knew I wanted to compete for a national championship, and that was a place that I could do that, where my family could watch me, and I felt like it was like home. Like I just walked on campus and I left, and I was like, oh, Mom, you're right. Like you were right. Like I can't go anywhere else. And so after I visited Maryland, it was a pretty quick decision, and it was pretty easy, honestly, for me.
That's so funny because it's sounding like a lot of similarities to my story as well. And so funny that you said, Mom, you were right, because that's what I remember thinking too. Like just go visit. I know it's down the road and it's not really what you want. I know you want to get away from me, but like just visit, see what they have to say. And same exact story. It's really cool to see that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like funny.
I hope
roll your eyes rolling into campus. You're like, I know I'm not going to go here. But that's what I tell all my girls now. I'm like, you truly just have to keep all your options open, because you don't know. Like, it's just, you really just have to keep all your options open.
right. And especially like the ones that you really are just like, I don't think I'm going to like it. Like, just give it the time of day. And if you're right, you're right. Cool. Like then you can just knock it off the list. But worst case scenario, you get to visit another college campus, which not a lot of people can say that they do in general. So yeah, that's awesome advice. And I can't wait to get into like all the good stuff that you're working on with your girls, because obviously as someone who does it too, like I love that stuff. So but going back to being a Terp, this is one of my favorite questions. And being in the space now, like we have so many friends who went to different colleges where when we were there, we were opponents and we didn't really care what was going on in the other locker room. But now it's kind of funny to hear all the stories and kind of compare and relate and everything like that. So, I know I have my stories and my traditions from being a Seawolf, but what are some of the things in like those huddles or in the locker room or on away trips that, might have been traditions that you'll just never forget, you always want to talk about?
Well, it's funny because we like literally played each other and we were like, like Stony Brook, Maryland. Now, like, like, you're a great teammate, great friend. And I'm like so excited that I get to play with. So it's so funny to like that dynamic shift. And I love hearing your stories too. But I think like we do big Terp, little Terp. I know a lot of schools do stuff like that where, you just kind of get this mentor. I think that's so special to have going into college. Someone who's been through what you're doing right now and experienced what you're experiencing and this huge life change of like a older person who's done it all. That's great to have. I also think like, I think the bagel shop closed though at Maryland after COVID, which is like heartbreaking. But before every home game, like we went to the bagel place of College Park, and you'd keep, if you got your number, you'd give it to. So if I got like, someone got 25, they'd give it to me, and you'd hang it on your locker. And so you just like have all these like little bagel place number tags, but it just showed like a teammate was thinking of you. We also made these like blankets for travel trips. So, your big Terp would make like a woven blanket. I was like a tie blanket. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the two pieces of fleece.
Yeah. And tie them together. And that was just something special, whether it was like big or just a tiny little blanket. Again, just like show that they were thinking of you. I think like every school just has their own traditions, but like you said, you always feel like your school is a little bit more special than the next. And so I think just like the culture that Maryland instilled in all of us, like there's so many small things that like go into making that culture and that have just been around. I mean, the school and the program have been around forever. So they've just kind of been around for years, and it shows that them not changing. Like it's so fun to be a part of.
100%. And I love that. I don't think I've ever heard of the bagel story, which is really cool. Yeah. I think that's really sweet. It's just like little things. Yeah.
Like when someone got your number, you're like, let's go.
I got Lizzie's number. I can't wait to put it in her locker.
But you're like, yes.
Oh, that's hilarious. And the blanket thing made me think of, you said like either a big blanket or a little blanket, made me think of like that trend where you show your baby blanket and it's like literally in rags. Like
it's like a thread and you're like, here it is. It's so special to me. It looks like floss. You're like, no, it's special.
No, I promise. My little Terp gave it to me. That's so funny. Oh gosh. Okay. So you won 2 national championships at Maryland, and you were also a 2-time captain. Can you talk about some of the, I guess, lessons and things that you learned from being able to be a leader of a team that was so incredibly successful?
Yeah. Honestly, my 5 years, I guess 4.5 because of COVID, every single year looked so different for me. And I think that's kind of what made me into the player I am today. Like freshman year, I went through a lot of ups and downs. Like I went into the year as a freshman playing and then kind of talked myself into a rut, had a span of like 3-4 games where I didn't really see the field a whole lot. And then I kind of came back on the field towards the end of the year. And then I started in a national championship as a freshman. And then, came in as a sophomore in a new position. And then as a junior, like I have my position solidified, but I'm a little bit more of a leader in that position. We won another national championship, but my role looked completely different than the first national championship. Then as a senior and a captain, COVID hits. And then my 5th year, I'm coming off an ACL tear, coming off a national pandemic or global pandemic, like all of these things, like they just were so different. So my journey is just very different, I think, than anyone else's, but I wouldn't change that for the world. Like, I think every year I learned something so significant and it just made me who I am today. Like the leadership junior year, although I wasn't a captain junior year, I had a leadership role on the defensive end. And it carried into the next year when I was a captain as a senior. And then just having that, going back to freshman year, stepping on the field as a starter for the first time in a national championship, you look to those seniors and you immediately like lean on them. And you see firsthand, okay, this is what we need to do to get to a national championship. This is what we need to do to win a national championship. And when you're that close to that mentality and you're on the field as a freshman, you don't know any different. You're like, okay, this is what it takes to be a winner. And so you come back the next year and you're hungry for that. And so even though I was in a new position, I knew what it took to win. And I knew what it took for the team to look like, we were all on the same page and we had the same end goal. And then, come in junior year, we lost in the semis my sophomore year. And then come in junior at Stony Brook, actually. Good time.
Not to us, don't worry.
Good time. And then, so to have that experience and then understand what it takes to win and come in junior year as a leader and be like, hey, this is where we're going. Just to lose it all senior year when it got shut down. Like, it's just every year was a completely different mentality with the same end goal, if that makes sense. So definitely a unique journey, but super, super special to me.
Yeah. And I think, the next thing we're going to get into is those setbacks. I mean, obviously we sit here right now in September of 2022, and you're one of the first people who was able to connect with me when I got injured this past summer because of all the setbacks that you've been through. And you just kind of like touched on it a little bit in the sense of like the mentality that it's given you. And even just now, like being able to look back and say each year gave me something new and something special. What do you think, like, when you think back on your college career, who you are now as a leader, what do you think are like your biggest traits as a leader or your biggest strengths as a leader?
That's a really good question. I think some of my biggest strengths first, just like determination and kind of like being able to push through like this adversity and things that are going to like to other people maybe enough to like deter them. But for me, it's a little bit motivating, and it's like, okay, how am I going to make this a part of my story? Where for me, like the ACL is a big one, obviously, where it was a pretty big setback, but I kind of took that and made an opportunity to say, how am I going to like rewrite this and make this like adversity part of who I am, part of what I've done. And I think the second part that makes me maybe a unique or a good leader is just positivity. Like, I think that I am able to come at a lot of situations that maybe some people would see as like terrible or, not something to be excited about, and kind of take it as a challenge of like, okay, how can we make this, how can we turn this positive? How can we rewrite this situation to kind of like I was saying before, be part of our journey in a good way, in a positive way? What can we take from the situation? Even if it's like a horrible, horrible game, what can we take from the situation that we can turn it to be positive? And I think that's like an outlook on life and an outlook on sport that has really helped me to be a leader.
That's cool. I like, asking that question first before being able to say like my piece, I guess, because I was going to say the same thing about your positivity and your will to just like kind of like almost take those next steps through adversity. Because obviously I've only known you for a little while, being a part of the US team together, but I've known you from a distance for a while. And just every story I've heard about you is just, she got hurt and she's back absolutely dominating. She did this, she's back absolutely dominating. She did this and she's not going anywhere. And that's exactly what I
go home. I'm like, no.
And that's the other thing too. Like anytime I ever saw you, you had this massive smile on your face, and you still do. And I think that that's something that I learned this past summer and the last couple of years being your teammate is like the constant positivity, the constant like giggles, and being able to turn something that's like, all right, this is happening, but let's turn it into a joke.
Right.
Bing, bang, boom, all that good stuff. Yeah. So,
bing,
bing, bang, boom.
I think sometimes, like there's this fine line between positivity and like toxic positivity, where sometimes it is just, I don't know if I can, like a crappy situation to be in, and you're like, this is miserable, and you kind of like need to feel that like horribleness, and you need to feel that like pain. And then I'm not saying everything's going to be, sunshine and rainbows all the time. Like, it sucks to tear yourself. It literally sucks. But it's not like, okay, we're good. Like, let's rally. Everything's fine. Mm-hmm. But it's like, what can we take from this horrible situation and make it something that we can learn from, make it something that is going to be encouraging to others, encouraging to ourselves, make us a better person. So I think there's like a fine line between toxic positivity and like realistic positivity. but I just try to like find that and stick to it. And I don't know, just try to be
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I mean, like, I forget who it was. I think it was actually Emily Perrin, our yoga and mindfulness expert that we kind of chat with all the time. But she said, like, she hates the term, stay positive, just like that term, and that's it. Like nothing else attached to it. Like you said, it's that toxic positivity versus realistic positivity. What's going to help you like through your darkest days, through your toughest times, and I think that's exactly it goes into my next question, which I was, doing a little research before this, and on one of your Instagram posts from a while back, you were talking about one of your most challenging seasons, going through that ACL tear and coming back from it, and having it happen on the U.S. lacrosse field and being a part of that. And at the end of the caption on this Instagram, you said, "For anyone going through your tough season, I promise you got this." So I guess my question for you is, when you're in those dark moments, right? When you're going through a long situation where you're ultimately staying positive, but you have a glimpse of like, hey, this is tough. Like, hey, I don't want to get up today, or hey, I don't want to do this today, or hey, this is really, really hard on me. What gets you through those tough times?
First of all, it was really hard for me early to say that this was a tough season for me, my ACL. I had some of that toxic positivity, and I hid a lot of my feelings, and I hid a lot of like that draining part of going through an ACL tear. And being a captain, I was like gung ho on. We were a really young team. I was like, we got this. Like everything's great. I'm off, but it's fine. Like a lot of that toxic positivity was a big part of my early recovery. And so I don't want to say I was never like I wasn't always good at this, but I think the first thing to help you get through those like tough seasons is recognizing that it's a tough season, and recognizing that this is really, really hard, and you're gonna be better on the other side of it, but it does suck right now. And then finding people that you can lean on that are going to help you get to the end goals, finding people that are going to support your goals and support your recovery and are your biggest fans, and get them in your corner because you're going to need them. That was another thing I wasn't good at. I was like, and I'm sure we're pretty similar in this, we're very determined girls. Like we are, let's go, like I can do this by myself. And like you're running your own business, like that just shows everything you need to know about how determined you are. But a lot of times it's like, I got this on my own. But these tough seasons you don't have on your own, you shouldn't have on your own. So finding those people that are going to be in your corner and going to support you and then rally with you, that's the next most important step, is recognizing it's a tough season, getting people in your corner, and then running through the finish line together. I think it's like such a cheesy and like cliche way to say it, but you really do have to like run the race with people. And so I'm getting people to run the half marathon with me, because
I was just gonna say,
you
got to make t-shirts that say, run the race right through the finish line.
Yes. You don't want to do it by yourself. You shouldn't have to do it by yourself. And so I think that was the biggest way I got through my tough seasons, was leaning on the people around me and then expressing how I was feeling. A lot of the times, like that toxic positivity would keep me from telling people how I was feeling, or understanding that it was a hard day, or that I was having a hard time watching people, play football when I couldn't, or play games when I couldn't. Tell people how you're feeling, because they don't know that you're struggling mentally, physically, if you don't tell them. And I think once you lose, let's say, or if you don't even have the brace, the crutches, whatever it is, let's say you don't even have them, you're just mentally, you're not in a good spot. If you don't express that with people, there's no way they know to help, right? Like, yeah, we can say check in on your teammates. We can say to, be a friend and ask how they're doing, but it's also partly on us to be like, I'm not doing well today. I'm having a really tough day. And then because you have people in your corner who are supportive and doing this with you, like they're gonna find ways to make you have a better day, or just listen to why you're not having a great day. So part of it is on us to like express when we're not having a good day, and it's totally okay to have terrible days. Happens.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's really important. And I think that's also probably why you're, standing here today as strong as you are, right? And being able to give this advice to others, right? I think you probably, when you look back on where you were in your journey, where I'm sitting right now, you probably would have never thought that you'd be able to talk this confidently about this. And I think that's really awesome, right? Even just recognizing those things about yourself too, and just like where you've been in your journey and where you've been able to reach. And I think the biggest thing that you've been able to reach, at least in my opinion, is that gold medal. So
yeah,
can we talk a little bit about how I know that was like a big step in or a big like journey for you because of all of this, right? And because of like that setback and everything like that. Can you talk about what it was like to kind of get that call from Jenny and be
Yeah.
able to kind of come to Stony Brook and be a part of it?
Yeah, I think, I mean, the process was long and it was with COVID very drawn out. So a lot of us, we're on the edge of our seat. And for us rookies, like it was very touch and go, like, training weekend and this and then that, and then that's canceled. And then we got to be here. It was just very long. And we didn't really know a whole lot because that last one got canceled. So I was really nervous. I was like, this could go one of two ways. And I broke my arm at the end of my 5th year, right before two training camps. So I couldn't train. And I kind of was like, that sucks, but that's like a sign. Like maybe this just isn't where I'm supposed to be. Maybe I just need to pivot a little bit. And I truly just, thought that's what was happening. And then, I kept getting invited back. And I was like, I'm just going to keep going until she stops inviting me. And then she never really stopped inviting me. And I was like, okay, I guess that's a good sign. And then come January, I got the call from Jenny. And I remember I was like driving and I was like, hello, where are you now? And I was literally like about to be like, I'm in the most public spot. Please don't make me cry. Like I'm so like, if you have bad news, can it just wait? I was in the car by myself, but I was like that nervous. And I was like, oh, I'm in the car. And she told me, and I just like, I mean, like that feeling of getting that call is just, it's a dream. And it's something that you work for so long. And I couldn't even tell you what else she said on the call, but she said for like the first like 5 minutes, like, we want you on this roster. We want you to like go for a world or a gold medal with us. Like, it's just an unmatched feeling. And it just kind of like motivated me a lot, especially because I had missed 2 training weekends in terms of like injury. I was, training out of my mind to make sure that I was in a position to help my teammates and to kind of prove that I was supposed to be there. But I think that like, it was just a phone call. Like I will never forget. I remember I called my mom like crying just because it had been such a long journey. And thinking back of where I was, I think it was like 2 years, not even 2 years before that. I was like, I just never saw this happening. And I think one of the questions we'll talk about is just like, how was it getting that, winning that world championship? And like, I'll talk more about how it felt, but it was like that phone call initially was just crazy.
Yeah. And I mean, like going right into it, right? Like how did it feel going from that call? So I know the timeline, right? And for our listeners, our timeline was we were supposed to have a training camp. What was it, like right after Christmas of January 2022, right? Yeah. Like the beginning of this year. And we didn't because it was canceled due to the COVID outbreak once again. So we got the calls in maybe late January, February, early. And then we went from there to June, right? To Stony Brook.
Yeah.
From February to June, and just like you, right? I feel like everyone was just like, okay, we got the call, like check.
Yeah.
Awesome. But it was about one night of like excitement. And then it was like, okay, I have 3 months to like prove that I actually belong on this roster and that I can be there for my teammates come, go time. Because we only have one training weekend before we head to the real thing. Yeah. I don't know. How did you feel about all that?
It was intimidating. And like, as like one of the, so there's like a couple crews, I would say, in like the US, there's like obviously like the vets, and then there's like the young, but like still rookies, and then like the very young rookies. But like, we kind of fall in that middle crew. And it was like, I was nervous because like we hadn't played college in a while, but we didn't really know, for me, I didn't really know how to train outside of college because this was my first year doing it. So I was in a really weird spot where I was still trying to figure out my groove outside of college working out. But, it'd been about a year since I played a college lacrosse game. So I was just like really nervous that I wasn't going to be physically in shape. I was really nervous that I was going to like forget how to play lacrosse. Like, like all these things are like going through your head. But I think like talking to like the veterans and being like, okay, how do you prepare? Like, I remember texting and being like, how should I, stay ready? Like with Taylor, like just being like, how do I stay ready in one-on-one? Like all those things. Just leaning on like the vets made me feel a little bit better, but I remember just feeling pretty like intimidated going into it.
Yeah, I remember the same. And I might have had like 2 years of experience in a sense of like training on my own, and it just never gets easier. It's always just pretty like, oh, you have that set date and you got to be right. you had the set date, you got to be ready, and you got to figure out how to be ready by then. And I think, I guess since we're on the topic, like what were some of the things that you made sure, like, I know you chatted with some of the vets, like, and I think that's really, really awesome, right? Just kind of leaning on each other through it all, because it's not easy for anybody, no matter how long, you've been a part of it. But what was some of the things you think like helped you be USA ready by summertime?
I made sure I would always like include some kind of footwork or like lacrosse drills into my training just to like stay confident with my stick and stay confident with my footwork. So no matter what kind of training I did, I always kind of like, even if it was just hitting the wall, there was some kind of like lacrosse specific training, or just a ladder without my stick or with my
Mm-hmm.
stick, whatever it was, some lacrosse specific training that helped me like feel confident in my stick. Like I knew that I wasn't going to feel the most confident if I didn't keep the stick in my hand. So that was a big thing for me. Also like working out in a team training based place. So I work out at a gym here that like a lot of like intense like athletes go to, and it helped me feel secure in what I was doing. And I kind of felt like, okay, this is, where elite athletes are training. Like this is where I'm meant to be. Let's hit the ground running kind of thing. And I didn't have that like, oh, am I, doing the right thing? Because I could just kind of, talk to my trainer and be like, these are my goals. I think Jay was really awesome about setting us up with a great workout plan. But I just laid it all out for him. I said, these are my goals. This is what I do on the field. Like, how can you help me? And then honestly, like between our training and Jay's training, it looked a lot like college. Like I would go in
Mm-hmm.
every day. I do the training that either Jay or my trainer here like had ready for me. And then, I add a little lacrosse in there, and then that was that. And I just kind of trusted the training I had leading up to it and hoped that it was enough.
Love it. It definitely was.
Yeah.
So now that we think about like the journey there, everything's come to fruition. We went through our training camp in June at Stony Brook, and then we move into Towson for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then all that's happening. We're super excited to be there. Games are like literally every day. We have 10 p.m. games because of rain delays and all that good stuff. And I think maybe what are some of your moments that like you'll never forget? And if that's that day of like winning gold and just all of that like kind of emotion and the whole journey and the whole process coming back to you, like what did the whole, I guess, tournament mean to you?
First, like you said, it was really fast. Like it was a very
Yeah.
fast going tournament in terms of like something every single day, games every day, practice, whatever it was. Like there was always somewhere to be. Played a lot of games in a short amount of time. At first, I was like kind of bummed about not going like somewhere awesome for World Cup. Like I was like, oh, let's try. I mean, I told you, like if I talk about traveling one more time, I was like, let's travel, like, let's go. And then I was in Towson, and I was like, it's like 30 minutes from my house, but I am so happy that it was, because one, my sister was there and my whole family, all my friends could be there. That was so special. The fact that it was so close to home, like it just felt, natural, and it was like easy, and I wasn't like so stressed to be there because like I was in my backyard and I wasn't a comfortable space. So I think that that really was a good thing for me, because of how fast it was and because of like the demands that we had. But I think it was just really awesome to play these different teams and these different countries that like, they're speaking different languages on the field, and it's a different game out there. And I think the rules between AU and World Cup couldn't look any more different, but to adjust to both and like understand, the different rules of world lacrosse, it was so special. But then the final game, like I remember I like cried when I got my medal, just because I was just like overwhelmed with emotions. Like I can't even explain the emotions. Part of it was like, yeah, we just did that. That was so awesome. Like so proud to be on this team. Also, part of it was like I played so many high school games on this exact field. Like young Liz would be so proud. Like
Mm.
I think I played a state championship game on that field, and like that was always a dream. So then I put that medal on, and I was like you need to appreciate this. And
Mm.
then aside from that, there was the emotion of like in the same uniform I tore my ACL under 2 years ago. There's that proud feeling. There was just, and I mean, I had a lot of adversity through that like 2 week span. Like there was just so many emotions that I was a little confused what to do with them. And I just like started crying, and I was like, I'm just so happy. I'm just so happy. But it was very confusing for me. Like it was like,
Mm-hmm.
it was just a lot of emotions. But I think like being on home soil, 30 minutes from home with my family there, and this special team, like it was, I can't even really describe it. It was so special. I mean, special is a horrible word, I feel like, for it, and I've said it 13 times. It was incredible, but lots of emotions to say the least.
Yeah, and I totally agree with that. I think it's really hard to describe, and I'm sure that I'm sure as a sports person, you probably follow all the sports in the world just the same way that I do. And in big moments, people just don't know what to say or don't know what to do or how to handle the emotions. And, a lot of people call it indescribable or special or like speechless, all those things. And it's like, okay, can you actually give us something? But no, it's
Nope.
like literally that's exactly how it feels because everything's happening at once in your head. All the emotions are coming out at once, like it's like relief, but it's also happiness, it's shock, it's all of the things at the same time. And special is the perfect word for it in my opinion, so
Yeah,
I'm
I
glad you used it
looked up
13
at our
times.
family. Like we looked up at our family, and I just remember my mom's crying, probably feeling all the same things I'm feeling. Like, how did we get
Hmm.
here? I'm so proud, but like such a journey to get here. Like, and I just remember when I saw my mom crying, I was like, well, okay, great. Like, how am I supposed to not cry?
Here I go.
I was crying before, like now I'm crying. So it was just a lot.
100%.
Hey guys, Kylie here. A short break from our conversation to remind you to check in on our social channels. You can find little snippets from our episodes on Instagram at dream.on_pod. And if you're a lacrosse stud looking for a unique way to train and develop into the best version of yourself, like our guest here most definitely has, check out the KO17 Lacrosse app in the App Store. That's KO17 Lacrosse. And at DREAM_ON_POD on Instagram. Come join the fam and we can keep dreaming on together. Okay, enough of that. We back.
Yeah, when you see your mom cry, that's when it goes, right? I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
That's why I tried not to look for my mom in the stands that same day.
Smart.
That's so funny. Well, yeah, I think it was really special to be a part of that team with you, and hopefully we have another chance at it for sure, so that we can make something extra special second time around. But that's the goal, right? I think I love it. Shout out to that 2022 World Cup gold medal team. Bing bang boom. Okay.
Baby.
Shout out Molly. All right. One thing I wanted to talk about too that I think we kind of touched on a little bit earlier is like your career outside of playing lacrosse, right? And something that I think is really fun, but also sometimes rubs me the wrong way in a certain way. The question is, what do you do for a living? It's sometimes you too? Okay.
I never.
Or yeah. It's hard to put it into like one term for people that are used to like a one term, I'm a teacher, I'm a nurse, I'm this, for us, it's yes, I'm a professional lacrosse player, but that's not the whole gig, so what is it that I'm going to ask you the annoying question? What is it that you tell people?
It probably changes a little bit every single time I answer it because I'm the same way. I'm still trying to figure out what like answers the question quick enough that people like don't lose interest, but also tells what to do. So usually I'll just say like, obviously I'm a trainer, like I'm a sports specific trainer. I do a lot of recruiting consulting and mental skills development for like young athletes who are looking to play at the next level. That's like the quickest way I'll say it. And then a lot of times they'll say like, what does the mental sports development kind of look like? And then I'll go into all of that. Training, obviously we do a lot of these like group clinics and stuff like that. So the quickest way is that, but you're right. Like, I can't say professional athlete because like, yes, but like also like, no, like it's
right.
It's pretty tough, but I would say that's like the quickest way I do it. It's like a sports specific trainer with a lot of like mental skills development.
Yeah. And I think that's really brave, really bold too. And that's like one of the pieces I wanted to get into, like obviously running your own business and kind of coming out of college and just knowing that, right now where we are in 2022, hopefully eventually we'll be there. But right now in 2022, we can't make a living off of just playing professional lacrosse. So how did you come about, wanting to create your own brand and be able to travel, like you said, be able to bring this mental skills development, recruiting aspect, but also on field and off field training aspect to the next generation? Like, what inspired you to be able to take that leap? Because it's not an easy one.
Yeah, it was definitely intimidating coming right out of college, but I've been doing private training since high school. So that's kind of not that it was all I knew, but I knew I was like good at it. And I hesitated to say that. I don't know why. I knew I was good at doing that. And I knew I was something that was special for me. And I loved doing it. And so I was like, I also, like I said, loved traveling. And I loved this. I have an entrepreneur mindset. Like I love expanding and creating things and organizing things. And I was like, how, what job can I do all of this with? And in a different life, I think I'd probably be like an events coordinator, not for weddings, because I'm not going to be in control of the one day that like might make or break your whole life. Like I would never do weddings, but I think I would love to be like an events coordinator. And so I was like, how can I get, that, but I still love lacrosse and it's still a big part of who I am. And so I kind of just started out with like, okay, I'm going to organize my own camps and clinics. And then I was like, well, I feel like I haven't, like you, the same way you probably started, like there's enough of a following there that I could probably, and I should probably brand it, right? I'm not just going to go out unbranded. So you want to use your name, and now they have the name, image, and likeness. Well, we didn't have that when I was in school. So I was like, the second I could use it, I kind of jumped on it. And so I knew originally it was just camps, clinics, and like semi-private training. And it was good, but I knew I wanted more. And I knew that like with entrepreneurship, like mindset and this like always striving to do one more thing. And sometimes like my mom a lot of the times would be like, do less. Like I always have so much on my plate, but I love that. I need to be doing a lot at once. And so I knew that I wanted more than just trainings. And oftentimes these parents, through my trainings would ask me to sit down with their daughter and just have conversations and just kind of talk about, what stress they're going through and what, whether it's injury or just sports stress or training stress, whatever it is, like just talk and just listen and be like an ear for them. And with my background in, sports psych and the internships I did and everything like that, I was able to be that resource for them. And I loved it. Like that was a really, really special part of my job. Fun fact, I was supposed to go to grad school for clinical psychology. And like 3 days before I was supposed to leave, literally, I, up and started this business. Like it just all kind of fell into place. It's the most Lizzie thing I've ever heard, but my LCL kind of just like took off and everything fell into place literally like I think it was like 2 weeks before I was supposed to start grad school. And so it just kind of felt like this was where I was supposed to be. And I was still able to focus a lot of this like sports psych without, the schooling. Obviously, I'm not clinically licensed, but I'm able to be a resource and a mentor to these young girls. And I just kind of take like a holistic approach to training and to sport specific development because it is so much more than physically training. Like there's so much mental like hurdles we have to get through as athletes. There's so much development that has to be done mentally before you can like be your best physically. And so, I just do a lot of team and individual work with these like young athletes who are looking to play at the next level. But I think, I'm always looking to expand. I'm in the works of expanding in a pretty cool way, which I've talked to you about already. Just always looking for like what I can be doing to make my job, more applicable to me, but also better for these young athletes who need these resources and want these resources. Just kind of always looking for one more thing to add to my plate, obviously.
Why not, right? I know. I love it. I like, again, see so many similarities in me and you, and I think that's really, really respectable. Just again, having gone through it, I know that it's not the easiest leap to take right out of college. And like you said, like literally 3 days before your future was kind of planned out for you, you went a different route and absolutely loving it now, as much work as it really is. And
yeah. And a lot of my like inspiration honestly came from you, Kylie. Like you and Taylor were no, seriously, no, I'm not kidding. Like you and Taylor were like what like the trailblazers for being like, this is my name. I'm gonna make something of it. Like, why wouldn't you when you can do that and when you have the availability to like take that route and it happens to be something you are so passionate about, like why wouldn't you make that your career? Because you're supposed to do something that doesn't feel like work. And I don't know about you, but like I don't feel like I'm working all the time. But for me, it was like you and Taylor were like trailblazers for that. It made it feel like, okay, I mean, I can do this because I did see similarities in like you and I and what you were doing. And so honestly, like thank you for for taking that risk.
Oh,
'cause
stop.
it's a lot, but it like help people like me be like, okay, I'm gonna do it.
I appreciate that. That means a lot. And the way you said Taylor too, like she was that for me, you know. And I looked to like the men's side of it a lot, where it was kind of like just dabbling a little bit, but didn't really see much of it in the space other than Taylor, right? And I think that what's really cool and special about our community is that like there really isn't any competition. It's more like, hey, you want something else? Like here, go to Lizzie's stuff. You want something else? Go to Taylor's stuff. Like, and I
Right.
think that's really special because you're not going to find that anywhere else. We just all want to ultimately help these next group of girls be able to, expand beyond what we ever were able to do and what we're still trying to do.
Like, or make just
Right.
like a professional athlete, like that's all they have to say. So they don't have to be like, how do I describe what I do? Like, you're a professional lacrosse player and that's cool. Like we are doing that for you guys. Like I think that there's like a real opportunity there.
Right. And 100%. And I think that's, my next question too for you was like, where do you hope to see, maybe your 12-year-old, 15-year-old girl that you're working with right now, like in 10 years, where do you hope this sport is for them?
I think I hope that there's like professional like lacrosse as an outlet. I hope that that can be a thing in 10 to 15 years. I hope USA lacrosse is legitimized a little more in terms of like Olympics and things like that, where we're on the cusps, like we're so close. That in 10 to 15 years, like I really hope that's an option for these young athletes. Um, and I think that if we just stay the course and we keep doing what we're doing, like it really can be an option. But mostly, like I think right now, it's just the main focus is that Olympic goal and legitimizing USA lacrosse a little bit more in terms of Olympics.
Love it. Okay, can we talk a little bit about Lizzie off the field? Because she's so much fun. Because she's so much fun on the field and so much fun off the field. And it's so funny because obviously I write notes getting ready for these. My Dream On listeners know that. And, I always want to hear about, some projects that you're also involved in. I think that's also what comes with the space of our career, right? Like there's always like multiple different projects going on and sponsorships and all these different things. Like, what are some of those things that you got going on?
Right now, can you hear me? I think I just froze. You got me? Okay.
Yeah.
Right now I can't really talk much about it, but I am in the works of developing an app. So it's a website and an app-based platform, which is going to come out hopefully pretty soon. We're beta testing. So that's my most exciting and most recent project. But outside of that, I wish I could tell you more. Outside of that, it's a lot of stuff with STX, a lot of stuff with Unleashed, who I work really closely for like PLL Academy and stuff like that, just doing camps and clinics and staffing camps and clinics all around the country. But it's mostly just expanding LColson Lacrosse and doing, more team-based trainings versus some individual trainings in terms of mental minutes. Just always kind of expanding LColson, but I think without saying too much, the app is the biggest thing, which you guys hopefully will see about soon.
Love it. See, I told you I didn't even write like plug yourself in there. I just lined you right up for that. Love it.
You're right there.
And you handled it like a pro. Okay, let's talk about again, like outside of projects, outside of work, outside of lacrosse, like are we aiming for TikTok fame? What does the typical day in the life look like for Lizzie?
Well, I put you on my TikTok the other day and it's doing well because it's great. So no, I'm not aiming for TikTok fame, but like I honestly just got on the app. I don't even know how to work it. Like I'm kind of it takes me way too long to make a TikTok. Like I'm embarrassed to say how long it takes. A lot of it I just send to like someone else. I'm like, can you just like put this together for me? I don't know how to work it. So no, I'm not aiming for TikTok fame, but I do think it's kind of fun. But like this probably won't shock you, but I was definitely like a Vine girl back in the day. Like Vine, like loved it. Like
of course.
So I'm like, I think that I can like dip my toe in. I'm definitely new to TikTok. Yeah.
I was gonna. You have the personality for it though, and you're always on trend. And I do get what you're saying about the timing though, because it does take forever to edit. And the TikTok you just posted of me yesterday was from what 2 weekends ago, but it's okay.
Don't expose me like that. Yes, it was so long ago. It's so bad. Like that's what I'm saying. It just takes me too long, and I just don't have the patience for it. And I don't know. So we'll see about TikTok, but I don't do like all like the dancing ones. I can't keep up with like those kind of trends. Like my girls will be like, "Oh, do you know this?" I'm like, "No, I don't." But, like I do a
Nope.
lot of like voiceovers and like kind of stuff like that. But mostly I just use TikTok for like cooking or like household things. Like some are pretty funny, but
It's
mostly it's
fun.
cooking, a lot of food.
Okay, what else makes your soul happy? Like what are your happy things?
Definitely cooking. I love to cook. I also love the beach, hence why I moved to the beach. I think like taking a walk on the beach, watching the sunset on the beach is an immediate like cup filler for me. Going on a nice run is a cup filler for me. Quality time with friends and family. That's always gonna make me happy. And then like I said, like a good cup of coffee is is great. I'm always happy to receive that. I'm like a good
For
candle. I'm like just going down the list. I'm like a good candle is another one. Like a clean, like there's
Yep.
just so many. But I think my biggest ones are like a sunset, the beach, good
Mhm.
runs, and good family and friend time.
That's awesome. Okay, last thing that you're probably filling a lot of your time with right now is wedding planning. How is that going?
Okay, actually, I really love wedding planning. Like I'm gonna be sad I
Love
didn't
it.
go over it. I do, but I think this goes back to like the I want to be an events coordinator. I think I could be good at it because I love the coordination of it, and we're done pretty much. All we have to book is transportation, and we've been done for
Wow.
a month. I want to say so. I just I really enjoy it. Yeah, I think it's been so fun. So we're getting married in Florida because we're just literally scattered across the U.S. Like I'm in California, he's in Florida, his family's in Michigan, mine's in Maryland. Like my other half, we're literally all over the place. So we're gonna get married in Winter Park, like a little destination wedding. It's nothing like crazy. But yeah, I'm excited, and the planning's been fun.
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah, that's the only reason I asked about it is because you said you wanted to be an events coordinator. So I was wondering how that was
Yeah,
lining up for you. I love it.
it's going well so far. We'll see. I
Good.
might forget
I'm
like a
ex
really big detail. Like I could see me like getting it to like the day of and being like, oh my god, do we have like someone to like marry us? Did I remember to get a dress? Like I feel like I'm like
I did I
yeah.
did see a video like that the other day, and it was a girl. She was like, I'm getting married in 5 days, and here's a list of 10 things I completely forgot. And I think one of them was like, we have zero food for the entire day of like me getting ready. She's like, I forgot I'm supposed to eat breakfast and lunch before.
No,
Like, no idea.
that's actually gonna be me. Like I think I'm gonna forget some serious details. So when people ask me how's it going, I'm like, oh, it's great. Like I don't know why people complain about this. Then come day of, I'm like, oh, no one has chairs to sit in for dinner. So
No big deal.
I'm like, you can stand
Oh
with
my
it.
gosh.
Yeah.
We're fit. Stand for us. I love it. Okay. Last piece before we get into some questions from our KO17 fam. So a little bit of inspiration. I think you've already said some really wise nuggets that we're going to take some quotes from, and I'm really grateful for. But like two pieces to this, two sides to it. From a mentor or like a special person in your life, what is maybe one piece of advice or one thing that you have kind of just taken into life and you'll never forget?
My mom actually always says like, well, I have two. One's like lacrosse specific, and one's just kind of like life. But lacrosse specific is, and it's actually my LColson line is just play happy. Like
Mm,
genuinely, you should just be out there because you love it, because you enjoy it, and because it's like fun for you. Um, so in terms of lacrosse, like I've always just played happy because it was never a stressful thing for me. I did it because I loved it. And so that, it motivated me to work harder because I was having fun. And it motivated me to encourage my teammates because I loved what I was doing. I wanted everyone else to see why I loved what I was doing and bring out the good in them so that they could also love what they were doing. So I think in terms of lacrosse, play happy for me is like it. Um, and then in terms of life, it's just like be where your feet are. And it goes back to me doing 100 things at once. A lot of times I get caught up doing, six different things. I'll be on the phone with one person while I'm emailing another. And this reminds me to just be where my feet are, whether it's on the field, whether it's in a phone call, on this Zoom call, like no matter where I am, I try to do one thing at a time and just be where my feet are. And if I'm not working, like I want to be there. I don't want to focus on, and as like a business owner, you're the same way, I'm sure. Like it's always going to be there. You're always going to be like, oh God, today answer
mhm.
like, oh God, should I get back to my laptop? But I really try to just be a coffee with my friend this morning and take a walk if I need to. It reminds me to just slow down in a time when like life is moving so fast, which I love, but it's not always practical to move 1000 miles an hour. So just be where your feet are. I think is like the biggest piece of advice that has applied like to my life that has really helped.
That's awesome. I love that. And you're speaking like straight to my soul right now. So, and my new thing is I, for whatever reason, have not discovered Do Not Disturb until like a month ago,
What in the
and
world
it's a
would you
game
do it?
changer. Dude, I don't know. I
Well,
like just thought
I
I'd
just
just,
bypass it. Like I just will have it on and
yeah.
I'll just click out of it. I'm like, that's not the point of it.
Right. And I think I always like thought I was like too like mentally tough for it. I was like, I don't need that. I just won't look at it if something pops up. But then I started doing it and I was like, this is fantastic. Like this is amazing. You know, it's actually like what I do at PT because I
Yeah.
know with previous injuries, I would like have my phone on the bike or like have my phone on the stuff that like I needed something to distract me from. And now this time around, I'm like, okay, do not disturb. If you gotta listen to music, you gotta listen to music, but like your focus is on your knee right now. I think
I
it's
love
like so cool. Yeah.
that probably just changes the whole mentality of PT too. Like it's like not a time to get like emails out when you're laying on the table. Like this is a time for Kylie to get better. It's like work and like
Yeah.
practice. Like that's exactly what it is. I actually love that. I've never even thought to do that. I kind of use the table time as like email time, but I
Right.
love that it's a time for your body to recover and to get better, just like practice.
Right. And I think that like also comes from right now, like you said, just like practice or like just like my workouts. It's my workouts right now, you know, it's like going to PT. Like so
Like, never like
I think it's like
with that. That's so good.
right. Yeah, right. And I always get like a, you know, you get a phone call or you get a text and you're like, I have to answer this right now. It's like you really don't. If you get back to them in an hour, it's gonna be all right, you know? But yeah, for whatever reason I just discovered Do Not Disturb. But anyway, off on a tangent there. What is so on the flip side of our inspiration piece? So you have some good um like one-liners that have always stuck with you. If someone's following you or looks up to you or you're their role model, what is one thing that you hope that they take from you?
I hope that they not my injuries, but my story behind my injuries and the meaning behind the play happy and the positivity of what you do. That that, that like, it should be fun at the end of the day. And yes, you probably want to play at the next level. A lot of the girls I train do want to play at the next level, but why? Because you love it, not because you feel like you have to. I think for me, I want people to just take like the joy of lacrosse and remember why you play. That's a big part of what my work is to remind these young girls, like, why did you get into it? Like, where are we? How have we? Whether they're struggling with performance anxiety or they're just kind of forgetting why they started. How can we get back to remembering why did you start playing? And so for me, I want to be like that resource. I want to show people like how much I love the sport, how much joy it brings me and the people around me. And then to the other piece of my story is that like grit and determination that it takes. Like it doesn't just come to you. And I don't want people to think that I just showed up on the team and you just showed up on the team and we got picked out of a hat or we got lucky. Like it's so many hours and it's so much determination that's behind it, whether you're injured or not. Like it's not an easy sport to
Mm-hmm.
make it in. And I think for me, I want to be that fun, that joyous player that like is genuinely having a good time out there, but also like I want people to recognize how much work it does take to be at the top level because it's a lot. And if you're not willing to do it, you're not going to make it. So there's a lot of hours and a lot of determination and grit that goes into it.
Love it. That balance is so important, you know, because with whether it flips one way or the other, if you're too serious about all the hard work or if you're too joyful, then you're not working hard enough. Like that perfect balance describes you perfectly.
That's exactly it. I want to that's a great word for it. I want to be that balanced player for them.
Love it. Okay, so speaking of some of these players that they really wanted you to be a Dream On guest, by the way. I put out a thing on Instagram and it was who do you want to be one of our next guests? And it was Lizzie, 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 Lizzie. And I was like, she's coming, don't worry. But I promise she's coming. She's one of my friends, I promise.
I will get
her. So we have a couple questions and one of them from Molly Megahe. Sorry if I mispronounced that, but do you have any pregame routine or rituals?
Honestly, No, I'm not superstitious at all. Like I am not superstitious at all. One thing I do is I like before I walk out on the field, I'll tighten my bun. And this is something that I do also when I like make a mistake on the field or when I'm feeling like mentally not in it, even if I haven't made a mistake, if I'm just like not mentally there. A lot of times I'll like tighten my bun. And whether it's before the game or during the game or even after the game, it's like for me, it's that physical reminder to just like tighten your bun and get going. Like tighten your bun and move on. Like if you made a mistake, fix your hair and let's go. Like we're good. Next play. Or you're going on the field, like kind of like that look good, play good mentality. Like, hey, tighten your bun, let's do this. So it's not that I have like a pregame meal or a song that I need to listen to, but it's that like movement of like, let's go. Like let's tighten our bun, let's get going. I guess that's like my biggest pregame routine.
Love that. I think that's really, really important. Almost like a flush the toilet mentality too for all your mistakes and anything like that. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna be looking for your bun tightened
know,
before every game.
You're
gonna be like,
no, now my opponents are gonna see me tighten my bun and know that I'm in a mental funk and come for me. If you see me, if I'm playing against you, I tighten my bun. You mind your business.
It's gonna be me in one-on-ones next time I get back out on the field. I'm gonna be like, oh, she just tightened her bun. I'm definitely taking her inside.
I'm just come up with a new like physical reminder, and you mind your business.
I'm kidding. You mind your business. I love it. Okay. This is from Kira Kirby. What is your favorite lacrosse accomplishment?
I like the World Cup is just like we've talked about it so much, but that gold medal, like it's just we worked for it so long and it was like such a big goal. But I do feel like that was a different goal that I had, and it was not that it was individualized at all because it wasn't. It was a team goal, but you like we talked about, you get that team months beforehand, and you show up to June with a team that you've never played for, and it's great. It's an amazing experience. But I think honestly, those Maryland national championships are different for me because that's where you committed to school as a 15-year-old. That was the dream. And if USA happened, it was like a cherry on top of the dream. It was like, you didn't even really think that could happen. But the national championship was a very probable dream. And so it's always the forefront of my focus. It was always like, I'm going to Maryland and I'm going to win a national championship with this team. And so when that happened, and to see it two different ways as like a random freshman on the field and then like a leading junior on the field, like I think those are my favorite, but it's not taking away from like the US. It's just very different. And at Maryland, and you spend every single day with these girls. They see the best and the absolute worst of you. And that's what makes it like my favorite, is because you get to the end of this journey and you've literally fought to the end of it. And you've seen tears, you've seen laughs, you've seen everything together, where US is so special, but it's not months and years together. It's a little bit of time, but it's just different.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love the way that you put that. It was really well said.
Yeah.
This one is from our last question from our KO17 fam, from Alyssa._lax. Who did you look up to growing up and why?
I've always been like soccer looking up to. I think that like, the Abby Wambachs, the Mia Hams, the Carly Lloyds of like the world, Megan Rapinoe's, like that crew has just like changed women's sports forever. And I told you guys in the beginning that I was, I really loved both soccer and lacrosse. And I had a couple lacrosse, people I looked up to, but I played lacrosse because it was fun initially. I played soccer because I was like, these are the women I want to be like. Like that was the crew that I looked up to. And I remember when Abby Wambach came and spoke at US, actually when I tore my ACL like however many years ago, that was like that was game changing for me. And what she stands for, and like her female empowerment and her just like empowerment to just be yourself and be comfortable with yourself. I think she's probably my biggest one, but that just whole like soccer era, it's just, Mia Hamm was a little bit before, but still that whole USA soccer team just like changed everything, I think, for women's sports.
100%. And they still continue to too. I think, just kind of following their footsteps. It's really cool.
Dude, they're so
Love
cool.
that.
Hey guys, Kylie here. A short break from our conversation to remind you to check in on our social channels. You can find little snippets from our episodes on Instagram at dream.on_pod. And if you're a lacrosse stud looking for a unique way to train and develop into the best version of yourself, like our guest here most definitely has, check out the KO17 Lacrosse app in the App Store. That's KO17 Lacrosse. And at DREAM_ON_POD on Instagram. Come join the fam and we can keep dreaming on together. Okay, enough of that. We back.
Awesome questions, KO17 fam. Make sure you submit those on our Instagram stories for our future guests. Lizzie absolutely crushed our answers. Last but not least, we end with a little segment called quick finishes. You know, just like your quick stick lefty finishes in the World Cup. So it's like a rapid fire round, as rapid fire as you can make it. Some guests take a really long time to answer, and some guests are just like, yeah, this is what I'm going to answer here. So however you're going to go about it, you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. What's your all-time favorite movie?
Oh, Mamma Mia, that one's easy.
Love it.
that one's easy.
Okay, perfect. Go-to karaoke song.
Put Your Records On. That's such a good one. Like, who's gonna be sad?
That's a great one. No one, no matter who's singing it, whether it's you or me. So.
Yeah.
Okay, pizza or tacos?
Pizza. I love pizza and pasta.
Oh, love it. Okay, what's your favorite place that you've traveled to?
Speaking of travel, I went to my grandfather's hometown in Pigliano, Italy, a couple years ago, and that was so special because I literally saw like the house my grandfather grew up in, and so I loved Italy as a whole, but like his hometown specifically, I got to meet like a bunch of extended family. That was really, really cool, and like a trip like nothing I've been on before. Not lacrosse related, it was just really special.
That's awesome. It's like a back to that word special.
I know. I need to get a new word. Wait, I actually
we need to
again, and I was about to call myself on it, and I was like, let it pass. No, I need to get a new word.
I wasn't calling you out. I just like really, it's been like the theme of it.
Yeah, I've been using special and also delicious a lot. Like when I eat something, I'm like, that is delicious. Why so dramatic? Like it's just good. It's just a sliced pizza. It just tastes good. I don't know.
I love it. I'm gonna be on like the thesaurus.com after this, looking for something that'll be good for special. Okay, what's your favorite TikTok trend?
Oh God, see this one. I don't know this trend. I don't know this. Oh no,
Yeah.
This dance.
Okay, we're definitely gonna clip that video, but for our podcast listeners, can you explain that one?
I honestly don't. I think it's like called When I Move, and then like.
Yeah. For those of you listening on the podcast, she's just continuing to do the dance move. So just follow her on TikTok, and you'll probably find a couple of videos.
Yeah, truly.
Okay, last two. What is one band or artist that you'd want to see in concert right now?
Definitely Noah Kahan. I looked into his tour, and it was like pretty much all sold out. Or like the Lumineers. I like that one. You know, indie, like acoustic kind of like chill vibes music. I know I don't seem like I'm like a chill vibe kind of playlist, but I love like the Lumineers and Noah Kahan. That would be like my number 1 and 2.
Love it. All right, last but not least, who is someone that you're grateful for?
So many people. I'm grateful for so many people. I honestly want to say like my fiance, because he, like I just I think he's like my rock right now in terms of like everything I'm doing, and like he's actually my biggest fan. Like I could fail so badly and he'd still be wearing the Colson 25 jersey, so like it is cliche and it's easy to say, but I think like he is my biggest supporter. Super grateful for him always.
Oh, love that. We're ending on a loving note there. Well, first of all, and we're doing the dance again on accident.
Wait, yeah, that's like the word special. I mean,
It's fine. I think you should continue just being yourself. Okay, where can our listeners find more of Lizzie? Social media, website, podcast, all the things. Where can they find you?
So social media, I think it's just Lizzie_Colson, and then my lacrosse specific training and development, all that stuff for my business is L_Colson_lacrosse. And then TikTok, it's LColson 025. So again, I wasn't really trying to like get with anything there because how would you even find me? But if you wanted to, it'd be LColson 025. And then in terms of like my clothing brand and stuff like that, that's all on the L_Colson_lacrosse TikTok, Instagram. So everything's pretty much on Instagram if you wanted to find me.
Amazing. Well, Lizzie, thank you so much for taking the time. And honestly, it's not easy to dive into all the little things and all the trials and tribulations of not only your lacrosse career, but your life as well. As we know, it's like the majority of our life, right? So we dove into a lot today. And I think that not only I needed to hear a lot of what you said, but a lot of our listeners will too. So I'm very, very grateful to have you as a teammate now instead of an opponent. And I can't wait to attack some more goals with you. So thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. I'm really glad that I could be on here and like share, whatever knowledge I have. And you're crushing the journey. And, a lot of what you said I need to hear too today. So I'm grateful and I love what you're doing. It's so, so awesome.
Right back at you. We'll do something cool together soon. You heard it here first, Dream On fam.
Yeah.
All right. Dream On fam. See you next time.
All right. Bye, guys.